first unit, I have splitted up the first unit for you according to the topics in your syllabus. I have said how the question pattern has so far been asked in UPSC, right? So in that one, that is especially one topic, the human values was left over. So that we will be first starting in this session. Then we will follow with the second unit. Okay. So the first unit, I already told the human values, lessons learned from the teachings of great leaders, reformers, administrators, like this the topic goes on. And that's also very important topic. While discussing in the first session itself, I have told all these things to you. So far, what are the questions which has appeared from this particular topic? I have put up here for you. So it will be easy for you. Like instead of I am discussing the old questions, I'll just displayed it for you. You can also see. As these are some of that questions which has appeared, from 2022. Even in 2022, you got a question. Mostly, if you see from this topic, what type of question they are asking is that they will pick up one value. That value they will be, just adding it in a quotation. In the quotation format they will give to you. Mostly the questions are in this pattern. Then you have to interpret the quotation. Sometimes you have to explain the quotation. Sometimes they will be asking you to, say what this quotation mean to you. That is, what's the meaning of this quotation for you. This way you have to write the quotation. Explain the quotation. Right. Now in 2022 there was a question like this. Fine. You can also see this is related to general. It is talking about the value systems in general. Okay. So not a specific value but values. Similarly in 2021 there was a question. Again, like you can see that peace, inner peace. This was talking about peace. This and all is the topmost human values. I hope when you're learning your lessons, your teachers would have definitely thought about it. The core human values. Okay, so this you have to take note of. Similarly, you can see this integrity. Okay, is a value. So this is also a value. So this was already like given in a question. And in 2020 also there is a question like discussing the role of ethics and values. See, this is another pattern. If the question is appearing in human values, this will be another pattern in it. One is related to the value systems and another is talking about the importance of values or how the values is acting as a guiding principle. Okay, all this will be in this pattern questions will appear. In 2020, this type of question has come. Similarly, you can see this in 2019 also you faced a question. So when you read this quotation, you will come to know this is also again talking about the so-called principles or the value systems which is there in our heart. Okay, it's not visible. So we follow it. We are made up of it. So this quotation of Dr. Abdul Kalam is also about that. And 2015 you can see again sometimes the values in the values itself they will be asking related to the introduction part, like they will be splitting the intrinsic value, instrumental value, social value, economic value. These are some types of values which we can say. So even sometimes they are asking like contradictory values which is existing in the society, undesirable values, desirable values. Okay, so there are many kind like this. So you can see the question was about the social values and economic values. We are comparing like this. And again the pattern of quotation repeated. We can never forgive. So it is about forgiveness. So this is about another important value called forgiveness. The question was like in this pattern. And in 2014, if you see that there is one time the question was direct, like from that particular topic. They asked like, what you have learned from that particular personality. So this question was like this: which eminent personality has inspired you the most? And what are his or her teachings? And like that, the question has appeared. So it's a direct question. Again, this integrity value was asked in the exam. Okay, but in different format it has come. And same like in 2013, values and ethics. Okay, comparing values and ethics. And very recently also you have seen the same question. I hope like see this. Discuss role of ethics and values in enhancing the components of social harmony, all this. Same way, this was about simple question. What do you understand by values and ethics? Okay, so So in what way it is important to be ethical along with professionally competent and all. This way the question was there. And some people just a minute. I hope there is some problem with the audio. Is it audible now? Is it audible? Is it audible? Can you all hear me? Can you all hear me? Can you all hear me? Am I audible now? Am I audible? Please someone respond. So there is some problem with my mic. That's why I'm asking this question again. Am I audible now? Is it okay? So now is it proper? Just a minute. So now you are able to hear me? Is my voice proper? Still I'm saying I'm hearing some voice is very low from one of the student. So am I audible now? Am I clear? Am I clear now? Am I clear? Yes? Is it okay? I hope now it is better, right? Just a minute. So I think it's okay. Now I can hear the voice properly and the students has also responded. So let me continue in this pattern. Okay. So I'll just begin again. Sorry. Sorry for the inconvenience. Yes. So now, like this, we have discussed what are the questions which have appeared so far in the exams and all. And I also said that sometimes values changes. See this and all from the introduction part only. Sometimes values changes. Sometimes it is fixed. This way the questions used to. Very rarely they'll be asking questions like this. And again, same in the quotation format there was a question. Okay. So this is related to the greedy nature of the human. So this way the values are connected in our questions. Now we'll come into our question answer session. So far I have given an idea about the human values, right? So first, let us start with the first question here. Yes. What does the following quotation mean to you? Okay, so this way I have made it the same pattern only for you. And I have said, see, this question is saying that what does the quotation mean to you? That means you have to interpret this quotation. Then you have to say which is, the meaning of this and what it means to you. Okay, in this way you have to discuss about this quotation, right? Darkness cannot drive out darkness. Only light can do that. Hate cannot drive out hate. Only love can do that. Martin Luther King Jr. So this quotation is said by Martin Luther King Jr. What this quotation means. So when this types of question comes in your exams, what you have to do? You have to first interpret the meaning of the quotation. Then what you have to do, you have to connect this, giving some examples, what it means to you. You have to produce your answers like that. Okay. So first let us interpret this quotation. That means what he is coming to say, he is saying that something occurs to you, some bad thing happens to you, you cannot take revenge in order to stop that cycle, right? So it continues, it keeps on continues. For example, if it is very dark, you cannot beat the dark with dark, right? Same way, hate cannot be driven out by hate. If somebody is hating you, you cannot respond back through hate only, you just love them. So everything will set up in an proper order or flow in a proper way. So this way that quotation is about. So here the main human value is love, which they focused is love. Okay, so this is one of the topmost human value also, I can say. It's accorded highest priority because through love only everything happens, right? So love is the one which connects everything in the world, right? Which very important for a bonding, we can say. So through love only everything happens, right? So when a person is loving something, that when he is in love with his job, when he is in love with his family members, then he is ready to sacrifice everything for them. He is ready to sacrifice. Okay, so first you have to what you have to do in this case of question, intro part has to be opened up like this. Here the personality is talking about love, and love is considered the topmost human value. Okay, since love is the one which is trying to bond everything, and all the other human values follows this love. Okay, so this way you have to begin your presentation. Then in the body what you have to write, and here only you have to bring all your ideas. So first idea which you have to give is that when a person values love, automatically he will try to sacrifice and accepts his vulnerability. Okay, so you may think that I am very weak because I love everyone, but nobody, everyone doesn't love me. They are trying to hate me back, but I still love them. I don't want to hate anyone. Okay, I don't want to do any harm. I don't want to take revenge. So this is something we call as love. So when this is there in your heart is very beautiful. This only Dr. Abdul Kalam also has said through one quotation, and this was asked in your UPSC exam. Already they said that a heart which is very beautiful, that makes a beautiful form. This continues like that. The quotation comes like that. Okay, then heart is society, then society to world. It follows like that. So when a person is trying to sacrifice and is trying to accept the vulnerable position he is in, okay, but then that means there flourishes a love, and because of this love the bonding happens with everywhere. Bonding happens everywhere, and a very important human value follows love called as selflessness, sacrifice also, and selflessness. And when this occurs, this is the root of every progress, I can say like that. Especially for a civil servant who is serving the country, who is serving the citizens, he has to have selflessness. How the selflessness will come? When he starts loving his job, when he thinks that his job is to serve the people, when he comes in this mentality, he becomes selfless in nature. He tries to protect the state, protect the people's interest, rather promoting his own interest. So everything is interlinked in such a way in the form of love. So that only is also mentioned. So you can mention this as first paragraph. You can split it into, each paragraph should not carry like 5 to 6 sentences or statements. Okay, it should be like more or less 3 to 4 statements is enough. And then you can mention about care ethics. Then you can bring care ethics here, and you can say there is something called which is also a part of virtue ethics. As we already know, there are three ethical schools of thought, starting from that the deontological ethics, teleological ethics, and third one is virtue ethics. And this care ethics is a part of virtue ethics only, to say. Okay, so then here caring is the major foundation of. It takes that caring is a major foundation of morality. Why? Because as a human, as a sentinel, we all care for each other. We want to live in social harmony or in a society, and we cannot live alone because man is a social animal. He has to live together. That means as a bond. He has to live together. How he will live together? He has to love each other and care for each other. Then only he can live in a bondage. So that's what care ethics is saying. This is the nature of a human being. This is the original nature, that it comes from the heart. The heart of a human being is made in such a way that he care for other people. He love other people. He's not made to hate anyone. Okay, so forgiveness has to be there. And this, when this care ethics is comes, there is no moral relativism at all. You take any other ethics, you take deontology ethics, you take teleology ethics, everything, deontology says that duty only is important. Teleology is that I don't care about any means, for me end is important. It varies. No, it varies from person to person, it varies from place to place, it varies from culture to culture, situation to situation, right? But care ethics is not like that. Care ethics is completely freed from relativism, and the care ethics is uh, taking the foundation of love and care. Okay, so loving and caring each other. So this is the major important component of care ethics, and this is a universal human attribute. Okay, and this is a primary foundation for care ethics also. So this way you can say that how love is the foremost human principle which was existing in the human's mind in long back. That's how the humans, when they were when they were hunter gatherers, or when they were living in cave dwelling, they thought that why we have to harm each other in order to fight for resources. I am hurting my fellow comrades, why I have to do that? I should not do this. So I have to protect my people, I have to protect my brothers. So for that purpose they created family, and for that purpose they created come up with the idea of society. In that way the liberty is also respected, and the other person's freedom should also be respected. So this is the mutual understanding of care ethics. For love and care they brought all these things, right? Same only all the religions is also talking about, like starting from Christianity to, you take Hindu philosophy. In Christianity we are always talking about love your enemies. Somebody beats at one side, slaps you on one side, show them the other side. This way and all they used to give lot of quotes. Similarly, Hindu philosophy also was accepting the concept of ahimsa. Ahimsa means it's non-violence. You can again connect it with love. That means that is here, even you can take a Gandhi's words. Gandhi has said that I practice non-violence. Non-violence is a principle that not tells us that how to love only those who love us. That is reciprocation or reciprocatory nature of love is not there in ahimsa, concept of ahimsa. Somebody hates us, we have to love them back. That is the concept of ahimsa according to Gandhi also, according to Hinduism also. Because in Hinduism they are saying that God manifests in various forms. Okay, not only in the good person but also bad person is a manifestation of God. So God lives in everyone. I cannot hate God, right? I cannot hate my fellow brothers and sisters. They are also a form of God only. So this is a concept of ahimsa according to Hindu philosophy. This is the way you have to produce your answers. When this is an example I'm giving for you. So whenever they are asking some quotation, try to coordinate all those which you have learned, the philosophy part of ethics. Okay, where you will be learning the theory concepts, the theories of ethics you have to bring here. At least one or two you have to bring as a concept. Connect it. Here I have brought you the theory, the major theory. Care ethics also I have brought for you. Philosophy part also I have taken it for you. So this way you have to connect and be an answer. Either in the pointer format you can write, or in a diagrammatic format you can produce this answer. So this will fetch you more marks, instead of simply saying that love is the foremost value, love is this, love is that. Unnecessarily don't elaborate the same statement again and again. That only we have given in the initial phase. We have said it is the foremost human value because it's acting in the form of bondage. This way I have already given. So don't repeat it again and again, but you have to bring in new concepts and connect it. This way I have given a sample way of representing an answer. Again, I already told you in ethics, whatever you give, you have to give with certain examples. Now they asked what this means to you, then how will you connect this with your question? In most of the questions in answer writing practice, I am correcting several answers from various academies. I used to see these people how they present their answers. So what they try to do, they always there is some detachment. You can detach yourself from the physical environment, the the properties you have, but not with your answers. Don't do that ever. What you have to do, you have to always have a linking, like when starting from the first word you start for a question till the last word you end, there should be some link between them. So when you start writing your intro, then when you give these concepts, you have to say, as all these directs me in one, all these concepts and philosophies, and even the religious leaders, even the leaders and administrators have directed me, have taught me that love foremost human value. I also accepts this statement that, and I have also followed it in my life. And for me also, love is the foremost concept, foremost human value, which I have to practice, and I am trying to do it. Even extreme kind of loveness cannot be exhibited, like for example Mother Teresa, where what she used to do, she used to beg in the street. Okay, so one time, like when she was trying to beg, when she goes begging, there was a shopkeeper in her street. She asked, please give me something, something for my children and for me. So what happens, this person was very angry. He thought, oh, every day this lady is coming begging in front of my shop. And he spitted in her hand, because she put her hand in front of people like this, please give something. Then he spitted in her hand, and then she simply smiled. She did not become angry. She did not scold. She did not say, if you don't want to give, just go away. She even did not say like that. She did not even leave the place. She saw, smilingly rubbed that in her sari, and again put her hand in front of him and asked, you gave me, but you give something for my children. Okay, this is something called as love. That kind of extreme love cannot be expressed by me. You have to give like this. But I have also followed, I am also trying to follow love in my life. And I am loving people more than hating them. For example, you can write small incident which happened in your life. Even if even if it does not happen, just make up some incident. Okay, so you have to prepare in a ready face. You have to keep some examples, like as if it has happened in your life. Somewhere you would have heard, somebody would have done it. Then you have to bring that, and then you have to depict that in your answers. Okay, you have to insert that. That's it. Conclude that in that manner, that yes, love is always the topmost human value, which has to be. And after this follows everything. If there is love among the people in the international arena also, the war can be avoided, right? So love and care has to be there, and this should be considered as the topmost human value for flourishing of humankind. This way you have to conclude your answer. Got it, children? So this way only, when your quotation is coming, I have given a sample answer. Hereafter, if I'm taking some quotation, I will not do this much elaborate. I'll just give you what are the points you have to give under this question. That's it. So when you are facing this type of question, try to give this type of answers, and you will fetch more marks than your competitor. Right? Fine. Now we'll move to the next question. Yes. So we'll move to the next question. So as you can see that this is a foundation batch which Sriram's is conducting, and Sriram's is on Unacademy platform now. You can use the code to join with Sriram's, and where you can join your hands with the topmost educators in your preparation. Okay. Now come to the second question. In matters of style, swim with the current. In matters of principle, stand like a rock. This is a quotation given by Thomas Jefferson. Do you think, see, this is different kind of quotation. Although there is a quotation, sometimes question follows the quotes. So they have asked like this, do you think, is it possible to hold up one's principles irrespective of the situation? Okay, so give your perception with the due justification. This is a question. So they are asking that. So now you have to interpret what I told you. When a quotation is coming in the intro part of the that is opening session, say that of the answer, what you have to do, you have to interpret that, and you have to bring an answer. You have to give the uh, yes, no doubt. No, so you have to just interpret and then start the introduction. How will you interpret this type of quotation? So what they're coming to say, they are coming to say that a person who's holding values, that is especially the moral values, not all kind of values, that's we call as principles. So a kind of moral value should always adhere to it. Whatever the situation might be, he has to adhere to it. He should not change it as situation and all. Okay, as per his need. That's what he is coming to say. That's the real meaning of this quotation. So you have to interpret it as such. And now they have asked question to you. Do you think, is it possible to hold up one's principle irrespective of the situation? So that means even if the situation changes, whether it is possible to uphold the value systems as such. That's a question which is put in front of you. Give a perception with the due justification. Okay, so now what they have asked, you have to give your own view. when you're giving your view, you have to justify your view. That means you have to prove it. You have to prove with certain examples, and that should be mostly a lively example which you are reading in the newspaper. That would be better. Okay, even then, if you don't get any example, try to bring some example from your life, real life incidents, right? Now we'll start. What are the points you have to give here? So as I say that, principles, values, they're talking about value. Okay, here again, so values. First, you have to say what are values and how it is related to ethics. Comparative to ethics, values are changeable. Okay, values are inbuilt, which is inside of me. I am value, value is me. I have certain values, values are reflected in me. I can say like this. So you have to write like a formula. You can write like, see, values is nothing but it's like a thing which underlies a person's action, underlying a person's action. Okay, so when you are applying ethical principles to assess whether a person is acting in the ethical angle, whether he is acting morally or not, you will also analyze values underlying those actions. So values are always inside, and it gets reflects in everything. It gets reflected gets reflected in our thoughts, in our attitudes, in our actions. Okay, so you can even use this diagram like I can iceberg, you can write, and values are inside. It is deep. Nobody can see your values, but your behavior is visible. Your behavior is visible. So through your behavior, we can learn about the value systems which is hidden inside. So that are called as values. So this values, as we said, it varies from person to person, from society to society, from culture to culture, from country to country. Even country also has values of its own. For example, I have my own value. For me, one thing will be important, but for others the same thing will not be important. So values are those principles which say what is important for one person. Okay, so that means values can need not be always morally related also. Okay, so it says it makes me to pursue my goal. In this way, first you have to give an introduction about values. Then you can also talk about some types of values like personal values, cultural values are there. Okay, it varies from person to person. Cultural values varies from culture to culture. Country national values are there. It varies from nation to nation. Like this, values keeps on changing. This values, how we are acquiring these values we are acquiring through like from various sources. Like it is inbuilt continuously. It is built inside us. We are acquiring values from various sources, like our peer groups. Okay, even like family members, from the environment, from various situational factors is giving a lot of value systems to us. And now we are continuously acquiring it through the process of socialization. So that is the main reason that values keeps on changing. When you are very small, when you are very young, for you one value might be important because your family member would have taught you honesty is very important, child. You should not tell lies at all. You should not cheat your parents. You should not cheat anybody. Okay, so this way they would have taught you. Then you would have definitely think that, oh, if I tell lies, God will come and then give punishment for me. My mom has told me. But after you have grown up, after you are mature, after you become like a youngster, will you still believe it? To some extent, but not every time. So now you see that, yeah, if I tell mom, then only. If she asks, let me tell. That's something called as honesty and the difference of integrity. So you think like this, and then you say, okay, what is wrong if I do this? So this types of values keeps on changing because you bring in new values inside, and old values goes back. Okay, so first, for you, honesty might be very important when you are very young child, but now comes friendship. Because your friend says that, please help me in the exam. I want to get, I will fail because I did not study. Now your mother has already told you when you are very young, you should not cheat. But here you are giving importance to your friendship and loyalty. than to honesty. So this is given second priority and this is given first priority. This is your value system. That is why values keeps on changing. But according to Thomas Jefferson, some people always have to have holding this value as the prior. Moral values should not be changed at any situation. Okay, that is right, that is correct, like that way he's saying. So you have to always behave in this manner only, right? That for that only you have to tell. If you are accepting, you should say yes, I accept, and then you have to continue the answer. First you have to interpret the quotation, then you have to give a small brief introduction about value systems, and you have to say that some values are static, some values keeps on changing. Then you have to say, now from that you have to take the perception, your view has to be reflected there. You have to say, yes, I accept his view. For it can be any situation, can be any situation, but for me, my core values are important. It never changes. Okay, or you have to say no. Based on the situation matters for me, not the values. So this is the difference between deontology and teleology. Also, I hope you would have understand by this time. So now what you have to do, you have to bring certain examples. For example, I am giving an example for you. In international relation, you would have definitely studied about India-Bhutan relationship. Okay, so we signed the Treaty of Friendship long back around 1949. We have done it, and India said that India considered the brotherhood relationship with Bhutan and a friendship relationship with Bhutan. So now, around 1961, they established a project called DANTEC, and through this, the Border Road Organization started constructing roads. So already there was lot of tensions between India and China, which was continuously happening. And when India started this project in Bhutan, there was a lot of misunderstanding between China and India. And even then, that led to the war of 1962 war also, one of the biggest issue which kindled this war, we can say. Even then, India did not stop this project, because for India, friendship is important. Okay, so we have promised something to our friend, I have to keep it up. I have to definitely complete this project, and then only I have to not repeat this again. The fault should not be repeated again, but I have promised and I cannot leave in between. And it continued this project even after that big misunderstanding which has happened. And then around 1968, we completed the project for Bhutan. So this is a very big example which we can give how our country has valued friendship than any other value systems for them. Okay, they did not consider about economic benefit, they did not consider about some other benefit which they are going to take from this stopping of this project. But what they did, they still continued because of the promise they have given to the friend. So this is something we call as values. In spite, if it is very common and you say that I'm a very honest person, it doesn't matter. Even if somebody is putting you crores and crores of rupees in front of your eyes and ask you that you have to completely give this project to me, and even though it gives lot of harm, it's going to do a lot of harm to the people, then still you say that no, I don't want this money, I just want to act in people's interest only. This is something called as that values, certain moral values should be held as such and should not be changed as per the situation. Okay, so you can bring certain example like this and you can support this answer. This is how you have to conclude your answers. Okay, when that question is asked, you have to conclude your answer like this. Okay, so fine. Even you can make up an example like, for example, some people when they're working in private sectors, they say that, see, we value friendship, sorry, we value honesty only, we are very honest person. And then some of your co-worker has committed small mistake in the company, you just immediately go and blow a whistle and then inform the management, this person is responsible for every fault which has occurred, mistake which has done. For me, friendship and all is secondary only, for me first honesty is important. And then you go and report it to them. But on the other hand, if you come to know that management itself is involving in certain illegal activity inside the company, and even then, if you stand and say that I am a honest person, for me job is not important. In the first case, you are saying for me honesty is important, friendship and all is next only, and you report your friend and you remove him from the job. In the second case, also, if you stand and say that honesty is important for me, Job and all is secondary only. For me, job security is secondary, honesty is prior. And then only you are a man of principle. We can say like that. That is what Thomas Jefferson is also saying. You have to be a man of principle. You should not simply waver your principle as per your need. Okay. So that how you have to conclude your answer. And that is what expected in civil service also. As an administrator, they are expecting this from you. Right. So to be a honest and a person of integrity, and what you say, you have to follow it. That is called integrity principle. So they are expecting this. So how you have to answer now? I think now you would have understood. You cannot say no. You have to say yes. Yes, I accept this stand, and you have to explain that further. Right? Got it? So this is how you have to do your interpret the question related to quotations. Right. With this, we are concluding the unit 1 completely. I have given a lot of sample questions for you with respect to the unit 1 of ethics, and I have split it according to the syllabus topics, and I have given a few, one or two questions as per the priority I have given and I have discussed. Now we go to the second unit. As you can see, this is the syllabus topics in your second unit. Okay, there is a small correction which you can also add in your second unit. This is how it is given. This you can not say content, structure or function. Simply put this under a topic called introduction about attitude. Okay, so you have to start like this. This is introduction topic. Then comes the second topic called how this attitude influence and how it relates with your thought and your behavior. That is your second topic. The third topic in your syllabus is about moral and political attitude. Okay. And fourth is social influence and motivation. You have topics like this. Take your syllabus and see. And you can add one more topic, attitude and civil service. Okay. Civil service or civil servants attitude. Generally, you put in this heading because there are a lot of things which a lot of focus will be giving to this topic. What is people's attitude towards civil service? What is civil servants' attitude towards people? This way, you would have been taught in your classes. Okay, so fine. Now, these are some of the topics which we are going to focus in the question paper, like how question paper is taken for the second unit. I told you when I'm doing the first class, I'll be doing the classification as well as explanation of each topic or each unit when I am beginning to start discussing the question. There only I'll do it. I told you like that. So that's why I've brought here. So starting from 2013 to 2022, if you see clearly, if you notice, then you can find that almost averagely one question is appearing from this unit. Sometimes two questions. Okay, so that much importance is for this unit. So one question, definitely one question will come. So you have to be prepared in that angle. How you have to prepare, that then comes the next question. How I have to prepare, because you are saying one question comes, what type of question is coming from this unit? That only I'm going to explain for you. See, I have split it into 5 topics, and in that, from the introduction part, in the introduction means you will be learning everything about the attitude. What is attitude? What is the component of attitude? What is the structure of attitude? What are the types of attitude? How attitudes are formed? Attitude change? All these will be clubbed in one topic called as introduction topic. In that, almost 4 questions has appeared so far. So far, 4 questions has come starting from 2013 to 2022. So similarly, sorry, I hope there is small mistake. This is 3 questions. This is 3, okay? Just change this. There are small mistakes. So 3 questions has appeared so far. But attitudes in civil service, that is civil servant related attitude. How a civil servant attitude has to be. How a civil servant has to possess a positive attitude. How you can build attitude in civil servant. How a positive attitude civil servant will act. How a negative attitude civil servant will act. These types of questions are appearing, connecting civil servants and their attitude. Okay, so far 3 questions has come in this pattern. Come to the topmost topic, social influence and persuasion. Here, so far 4 questions has appeared in your exams from this particular topic. Another 2 small topic. One is moral and political attitude. Only one time one question has come. That is also a direct question. Another is that attitudes influence in thought. How attitude is continuously influencing your thought, and then how it is influencing your behavior. This way, one question has appeared so far. Got the idea? Now we'll go into the classification. See this, starting from 2022, the questions are classified based on the topic. I told you civil servants and the attitude. Now this is the topmost talk in the attitude unit. For the past 3 years, continuously past 2 years, and before that also 1 year, the has focused on the civil servant. As you can clearly see this, so it's talking about positive minded officers and negative minded officers. That way 2022 the question has come for you. 2022 question was like that only. Okay, and 2021 question, if you see, how will you build suitable attitude needed for a public servant? So this was a question which was asked. Again in 2015 also, some question relating civil servants was asked. They asked about the bureaucratic attitude and democratic attitude. So at that time, everybody was confused why this something new word has come, bureaucratic attitude, democratic attitude and all. So it's something attitude a civil servant possesses. And what an attitude a civil servant, what type of attitude they have to have, that is democratic attitude, people oriented attitude, that's democratic attitude. So this way only, the terms are simple, but they give a different name for that term. Generally, if you overlook it, you will be easily understanding, okay, so this is what they're coming to ask, right? So that question has up 2015. They splitted that into two part and asked the question for you. Okay, and okay, so see this way question has come. Similarly, the introduction part which I told you, what type of questions are appearing? I already told the types of attitude you'll be studying, right? So in that they asked what contributes positive attitude in person. This is not about a civil servant. This is not about related to a civil service, but generally, if a person as an individual, how can I become a positive attitude person in my life? That type of question was asked. 2016 they were asking about our attitudes generally. This was connected with the values in the first unit. Okay, I already told there will be interconnectivity between topics from various unit also. Similarly, this question is a sample example for you, I can say, not sample, example. From the first unit, they took the values topic. From second unit, they took the attitudes topic. They come club together. They put it in one question. They asked about undesirable values and undesirable attitude, which is formed because of this value systems. I already told values, which is hidden like this, which is below, like an iceberg, which is deep inside, and there the behavior is only exhibited outside. So I told you the values which is down here, which continuously influence the attitude, which is also still submerged inside. Nobody can see your attitude, but when attitude reflects in your behavior, everything is visible. So the undesirable values and undesirable attitudes, they made us a question in 2016. Okay, so again, if you see, this is also from the introduction part only. What factors responsible for the formation of person's attitude? That only was the question. That's a major focus of the question. And they said that some people have contrasting attitude. Okay, so the question was like related to caste system in our country. How are you going to explain why there is contrasting attitude? Some people are supporting it, some people are opposing it. What is the reason? So then generally the question is about factors affecting the formation of attitude. That and all you'll be studying in your introduction part. Then social influence and persuasion. I told you questions has come so far. Major importance is given to this topic only. If you notice all the questions starting from 2014, 16, 17, 18, continuously 16, 17, 18, this pattern of question will be there in your question paper. And I also told you, remember, some case study will be connected to your theory part. That was from this topic only. Okay, and some in the case study, some question will come as of in theory part also. So this is like a case study part of question, but which appears in the theory part. As you can see that increasing sexual violence cases against women. Okay, how are you going to tackle this? This was a question in 2014, and in 2016 they took a scheme and they said that how social influence and persuasion is going to contribute. Okay, for every question, if they are asking suggest steps to motivate to come forward, suggest steps to tackle this problem, using the techniques of social influence and persuasion here in this kind of questions. Okay, you can read it slowly. You can take this document, you can read each question and see, then you will understand. Okay, so instead of going and applying law, rules and regulations, along with that you also should use techniques like social influence and persuasion as an administrator to tackle sensitive problems like this. Okay, so these are some old question, and this is already I told you influence and moral and political attitude. One question has appeared. So from the influence, if you see, man is a product of thought. What he thinks he becomes. This was said by Gandhi. And even moral and political attitude, they asked about politics and ethics will go together. So what is your view in this regard? Like this, the question was very direct. So again, before entering into our question answer from second unit, I like to introduce that Shriram's is opening up optionals for every subject you all know. And this is like very recently an optional of geography as well as optional of anthropology has been started. So you are invited to join with the Shriram's team. Okay. So now we'll go to the question answer. This is a question. First question from second unit. Despite laws and periodic intervention by the courts, the practice of manual scavenging continues to prevail today. Thousands of people at the bottom of the caste hierarchy are involved into it because of the prevalent, unwanted, or undesirable attitude in society. Suggest some innovative measures to tackle this issue. Do you identify which type of question is this? This is relating to social influence and persuasion. Okay, persuasion. So when they're asking this kind of question, first you have to, when you would have definitely read certain articles in your newspapers, and in my classes I used to tell my students, if some questions related to sensitive problems is appearing in your newspaper, you have to take care of that, like child marriage, okay, like female infanticides, related problems. This way some sensitive problems are happening in the society. You have to read it, you have to follow it up, you have to note what are the issues, what are the cause of that issue. The issue is that, what are the cause, what are the problems which is causing that issue, and then what are the problems, what are the measures you can suggest for that. In this way you have to prepare a chart in your notebook and you have to work on it. Similarly, this problem might think that it is already dead, but it's not a dead. Still, manual scavenging is practiced in various parts of our country. Because of this, a lot of people are losing their life also, immediately and in long term, affected by diseases and all, because there is no proper safety mechanisms for those who are involving in manual scavenging. So first you should know what is manual scavenging. What it is a practice where a human tries to remove a human excreta using his hands. Okay, sometimes even barren hands, trying to clean the human excreta, remove it, trying to transport it, okay, without proper safety gears and dispose it. Imagine what a kind of situation it is. It's like an inhumane treatment we are giving to people, right? So now they have asked, what are the, if you are going to a particular district, you are going to work in it, and you come to know that lot of people are practicing manual scavenging, still it is existing in the society. What will you do? You have to think from that perspective. Laws are there, rules are there, it is even illegal to do that. Constitutionally it is a sin, you cannot commit, it is against constitutional morality also, but still we are practicing it. Why? What is the reason? How you can rectify this problem? First you should know why. The why you have to write like this in an order. You have to first write and keep, or in mind you have to organize it. The first reason for this manual scavenging practice is that people are simply denying that practice. They are saying, no, where we are practicing, nothing like that. They are hiding it. They feel that they themselves know that it is wrong to practice such a kind of, involve in such a kind of practice. But still they are doing it. So they are hiding it because they feel embarrassing when somebody asks to them. So blatant, very good, fine. Somebody is, if any doubt you can ask me. So yes, lack of social inclusion. Okay, the secondary thing which you can notice, social, what happens to these people, those who are involving in this manual scavenging jobs, so they are isolated from the society, they are completely alienated, they are, it is like a age old custom, they are practicing it, and people are also accepting it, by mentally they are accepting it. Yeah, see, we belong to a different community and caste, and it is dharma that we have to practice untouchability only. We have to accept untouchability. This way people's mentality itself is changed, lack of social inclusion. Okay, and that is what I have given a point like this. No effort in psychologically liberating the manual scavengers. You are bringing in a lot of schemes, you are bringing in a lot of programs, you have established an act and rule, and constitutionally also you have mentioned this, there should be no untouchable practices and all. But what you are doing, psychological liberation of manual scavengers is not there. So manual scavengers, they themselves are accepting this practice. Yeah, because we belong to this particular caste and community, so it is proper, we have to follow this dharma, we have to follow this Vedas. So this type of idea, this type of thought is prevailing in their mind. And next important problem is that incomplete rehabilitation which is taking place. Okay, fine, you are going and approaching a manual scavenger, you are saying that you should not perform this kind of act hereafter. It's totally wrong, it's totally an inhuman practice. People are trying to make you commit it. Don't involve in this kind of act. Go take alternate employment. But have we completely rehabilitated him? After few days, after few months, he again go back to his original job, because nobody offers him job, and his children has to survive, he has to feed his children. So this is a problem. Inadequate focus on technology. So all this has to be addressed when you are trying to give the measures for tackling the issue. That is why I asked you to make collection of why this is happening. First of all, R&D. As an administrator, you have to do an R&D. So you can give this as points itself. In the first opening paragraph, you can say, as I, after doing a research and research work, after collecting data from this particular perspective that related to manual scavenging, these are some of the issues which are linked with the major issue of manual scavenging. So once when we are trying to rectify this problem, we can also try to come out of that, or you can stop the manual scavenging, or eradicate, I can say, the manual scavenging completely from the society. So how will you address this problem? For that, you can make a graph like this, like a diagram. Okay, so this will not occupy much of the space, but at the same time you can also more points related to each and every issue. First, you can write the blatant denial. So what happens, this is mainly people, either they are fearful about the punishment they will face after the authorities come to know that manual scavenging is practiced in a particular area. So here you can use the attitude change, the behavior change strategy. Okay, generally we call this behavior change strategy. So changing the behavior of people. Okay. So we are saying that take responsibility. You have to take it, because you are the person who are involving this community in the manual scavenging. Take responsibility for your actions. First thing. Second thing, you have to bring the concepts you have studied in your topics. Under each and every topic, especially under second unit, under social influence and persuasion, you will come across a word called instrumental conditioning. Are you or not? Have you read this word anywhere? Instrumental conditioning. This word definitely you would have read somewhere. What is instrumental conditioning? Come on, remember now. So this is how I am giving a small example for it. This is how you have to connect your keywords, which I told you from starting. I am telling you this. Keywords related to the subjects has to be connected with your answers to fetch more marks. Instrumental conditioning means when some activity is performed by a person, you appreciate that, you praise it, you give present to him that, yeah, well done, you have done it great. That is why in your rank cards they will write keep it up. When you write and send an answer to a teacher, the teacher will appreciate and give very good keep it up. What it means? That means more and more you have to involve in this kind of activity. Again and again you have to score the top rank. That is something appreciation. But on the other hand, if you're committing certain activity, which is completely it's illegal of nature, it's totally, it's no undesirable action which you are committing in the society, then what the parents will do? The parents will warn you, will teach a lesson to you, scold you through words or beat you. The reason is that they doesn't want you to repeat this action again. That is something as instrumental conditioning. So this is studied by a philosopher. He says that, and even a psychologist is saying that, when a person's action is appreciated by the people, by the society, by the friends, he tried to commit again and again the same action, but somebody is not appreciating it, then what happens? He will never repeat that again. Okay, so same has to be applied in case of blatant denial also. You know that this people are doing it purposefully, then you have to even, enforce law and order more strictly. Those who are committing this mistake, you have to punish them as per the law. More stringent punishment has to be given to these people. And those who are trying to come out of it, those who are setting as an exemplar for the society and who belong to the same place, but they are not appreciating the manual scavenging, they are even acting against the manual scavenging, you can appreciate them, okay, in front of the society. You can simply a word of appreciation itself is a lesson you are teaching for the others. So this is something we can say an instrumental conditioning type of thing has to be performed in order to bring attitude change in the people's, that is behavior change should be take place in the people's mentality, making them accepting the responsibility and taking responsibility for their actions, right? Second thing is that I can say about the social isolation. Okay, isolation, or there is no social inclusion, we said no, social isolation of the manual scavengers, plus psychologically liberating the manual scavengers, psychologically liberating. Okay, for this what you have to do, this way you have to address this issue. When you are writing in your exams, you have to address like this: social isolation. How will you avoid the social isolation? How will you try to rectify this? That means the view of the society towards this community has to be changed. How will you change it? Through certain mechanisms of persuasion techniques and social influence techniques. How will you do that? Like using likable sources, credible sources. In social influence you will study all this, no? Like likable, credible, desirable sources you have to use. Okay, in this case likable and credible sources has to be used, okay, in order to make the community accept them inside. Okay, and through role play, that means you are doing street plays, you are making people aware, and through the principle of reciprocity, you can use the principle of reciprocity. These are all points, note one by one. Role play procedures, principle of reciprocity should be used, likability principle, credibility principle. So when people comes and talks in the screen, and when they are heroes, when they are stars, when they are sports people, they come and give a make a documentary for the community, says that this is totally a inhumane practice, it should be completely stopped, and then people accept it. Okay, so this has to be reflected there. These are the keywords which you have to use. Even scarcity principle, you can use using scarcity principle. So how scarcity principle can be used? Those who are not coming to the public, those who are liked by the public but not often appearing in the public, like the film stars, can be used to promote the message to the people. Okay, so this way you have to say that you have to bring all this keywords from the particular topic, right? And psychologically liberating, for that you have to make them understand their importance, the importance of them as a human being, and you have to give information to them. Informational social influence should take place here. Informational social influence. Okay, so this way you have to use the word informational social influence. Okay, so this way, and even observational learning. Along with this, you can also add another word called observational learning. These are keywords. So informational social influence means what you can do, you can give lot of information to these people that what are the problems they are going to face when they are going to practice this manual scavenging, how their children will suffer because of this, how next generation will not affected. Okay, all this information have to be given to them, and then you are trying to make them liberate them. Okay, so you can say that, see, this people also who previously was a manual scavenger, now he has created a self-employment. He is doing a business of his own. Okay, these are some of the ways you can come out of this problem. You have to struggle for few period, then you can earn money, and you can also earn a decent living. Okay, so this way you have to teach them. And even observational learning, observing others and learning from them, how you have to make yourself respectable in the society. That way you have to teach these people. Second, next 2 points, that you can give less focus, like technology. How we are going to improve the technology, ecos and toilets, bio toilets. This way, something how to invest more money for R&D. Okay, and again, PPP. Not a single government can try to rectify this problem. Only through law and order you cannot rectify this problem at all. Here, all the people has to join the hands. Not only government, public. That is public, then not only private people, along with them NGOs also should come. PPP partnership, where the civil society organization also should join the hands, along with every individual. They should try to change their behavior in such a way that they have to rectify, they have to uproot this type of practice from their mindset, and they have to treat every human in the equal way. Okay, so this is how you have to answer for this kind of question. When they're asking you to suggest measures, you have to bring the keywords, connect it, make a beautiful answer, connecting the keyword. Okay, keywords are very important. At least 2-3 keywords, 3-4 keywords. Even here I have not given enormous keywords. I have not dumped you with keyword. I have just took 3-4 keywords for you. In this way you can add more keywords once when you are ready with your topics. Okay, so now we will see the next question. And yes, we are having time still. No, not an issue. Come to the next question. See, I have made a particular pattern for you. Sometimes, most of all, now they are asking 1AB, 2AB, 3AB. This way questions are coming. Sometimes both the part are connected with one another. So such a kind of question comes in exams. Similarly, I also made a question for you. See the A part. Civil service requires not only expertise but also civil servants with right attitude. Okay, how to build right attitude in civil servants? Hmm? This question is related to civil service and attitude. Okay, and civil servants attitude, it's related to that. How to build right attitude in civil servants? This is first part of the question. Okay, then second, discuss the merits of developing positive attitude in civil servants. Very simple, direct questions only. Already you would have studied this. You would have done it from your respective teachers in your classes. So now you can frame your own answer. I given a question. I still will discuss what are the points you have to present for this question. What are the points you have to present? In this case, they're not asking positive attitude or negative, anything like that to you. Okay, there are 3 kinds. Mainly, there are major 3 kinds of attitude: positive, negative, neutral. But generally, we'll take positive, negative. So, we will never ask a person be neutral. Very rare and rarest of cases, we used to follow that. If you're always following, there is something wrong in our approach. Na? So, first, either we will be thinking in a positive way or we'll be thinking in a negative way. So here the question asks you, build the right kind of attitude to civil servants. How will you build the right kind of attitude? How will you develop right kind of attitude in civil servants? So for this, you can give max 4 points. Okay. First thing like that, you can say, you can bring like, how can you develop positive, that is right attitude for a civil servant. The right attitude means it's mainly a positive attitude a civil servant has to have, okay, in his job. How will you develop it? First is first is using, again you can bring the word, the behavior change, especially the instrumental conditioning can be used here. Instrumental conditioning, not classical conditioning. Classical conditioning we can use for some other examples, but here it is aptly you can use for instrumental conditioning. So what you can do, you have, that means the civil servant who are trying to cause harm to the people, the citizen, because they are there to serve the citizens. Even in 2022, there was a question. They asked that positive minded officers are able to interpret the law, rules, and regulations for the benefit of people and they achieve success. Negative minded officers, on the other hand, they will always try to misinterpret the rules and regulations and make the people suffer. And they will also become a greater failure. Anna? So, this instrumental conditioning will help you rectify this problem. So, how will you do that? You have to write that the one with the, the, sorry, the positive reward phase. How will you provide reward to the civil servants? Huh? Through the way of, giving awards to them, awards, applauses and awards, like PM Excellence Award for Administrations is there. This has to be appreciated. This has to be enhanced in the future, that the civil servants who are giving exemplar, putting extraordinary effort in order to achieve certain things in their particular district has to be appreciated, and this makes the other civil servants, other administrators also follow this step, try to change his attitude. So far he would have thought that, everyone is corrupted, why should I not be corrupted, why should be always I should be out of this, I also will follow the same line, he may think like that. But now co-worker, a co-administrator, one who is working in a different district, has done and put an extraordinary effort and has give a fruitful result related to a project, related to rectifying a particular problem which was prevalent for longer duration in the particular district. So now you are bringing that and sharing this information with them, and also giving an award for the excellence and appreciating this person and making him as a role model. So this will make you enough courage, enough right, like the, sorry, this appreciation will give, support to those kind of officers, and will also try to make him follow the path, make him follow the right path, okay, change his attitude from the previous attitude, what he had, what he pursued, he would have definitely changed it and follow the footsteps of the other person, because he thinks that, okay, he is appreciated, I will also, right, I also should follow him. So again, the one who is involving in these kind of negative attitude, not performing their duty, are always trying to act as citizens, then these types of people has to be punished then and there, as we have seen a lot of examples, like custodial deaths also happening, mostly this is happening in the police department. So this has to be completely strictly punished, and then what happens, people will try to change the attitude. Okay, then not only this is something related to instrumental conditioning, which we can try to change the attitude of a civil servant. Second, training sessions has to be conducted, training sessions. Okay, so what we are trying to do so far, we are only trying to train a civil servant, like we are even uh, recruiting a civil servant by seeing his knowledge. We are thinking that he's expert, so we are recruiting him. The three level of examination is there mainly to check his knowledge only, and mainly the last step, the personality test, there all the thing will be put into action. But still we are not giving special focus to other IQs, other quotients in your of the civil servant. We are only focusing on his IQ. Majority importance is given for his IQ only, but we are not checking whether he is having a proper EQ, emotional quotient, or whether he is having a proper, personal quotient. This and all is not checked. And adversity quotient, our curiosity quotient, we are not checking all this thing for a civil servant. So this has to be trained in them. This will make them change their attitude. Previously, a person who is completely filled up with knowledge, who is, then he may they think that I have been recruited to solve this problem. I will always think as per the rules and laws and regulations only. He will not give importance to creativity. He will not give importance to the main responsibility he have in this position. Okay, so this way you can try to change the attitude of this person. And even third thing, how we can change the attitude, changing the work culture. Work culture has to be completely changed. There is a topic called work culture for you. So that you have to focus, that completely changing the working atmosphere. Anna. So then instead of simply strictly following, because so far we are following the British way of legacy of civil service only. It is carried in that mentality only. Ivory tower mentality is there existing among the civil servants. They always put themselves in the upper ladder, and they consider all other citizens in the lower ladder, and they always used to see like this, to see down, no, over the citizens. We have to bring a kind of work culture in such a way that a teamwork has to be existing in the office setup also. Field visits has to be added much more in the profile of a civil servant. So when his equal amount of time has to be dedicated for his office work as well as for his field work. So when he comes and interacts with the common man, he comes to know more about their problems, their plight, way of living, and now he changes his attitude, his mentality towards the common. Okay, so this way you can try to build a right attitude in a civil servant. Okay, and fourth, I can say that even the system reforms has to be brought. System reforms has to be take place, which where instead of simply following the order which is given by the highest authority, by the other civil servants, without even asking why you are giving this order to me, and and simply following it blindly, here now it can be brought up in such a way that every civil servant can be given a space and liberty to discuss and share their views, the democratic format. We are saying that we are democratic country, but still here, even like when an order is coming from the command, they have to follow it. So instead of that, they can also share up their views, they can also discuss, and they can say that, so these are some flaws which will happen if I'm going to implement this project in my district. Instead of after applying, after implementing, and then giving a feedback, you can still in the first phase you can have a collaborative discussion, and then you can bring this project people. So this way, every civil servant, every administrator will feel I am also important here. I am also given space. I am considered as an important person, and I am given an authority to take a decision. So I have to hold this responsibility in a integrity manner, in a honesty manner. I have to practice because this is an award which is given in my hand, and he has that type of feel that I have to protect this job, I have to protect the interest of people, and that how you change the attitude of the civil servant. You try to develop the right attitude in a civil servant. Okay, much more you can add, much more are there. So here this much is enough, because for the 10 mark, the first part of question, I have addressed 4 points how you are going to build right attitude in civil servants. Now come to the second part, discuss the merits of developing positive attitude in civil servant. So what are the benefit you will be getting by developing a positive attitude in civil servant? Okay, we already said that servant should have positive attitude. So what are the benefit you will be getting having a positive attitude in civil servant? For that you can write, it will try to the positive, if a civil servant is acting with positive attitude, then it will build confidence and trust, okay, among the people. This job is in such a way that, this position is in such a way that the confidence has to increase among the people. People has to trust the civil servant, then one will accept the administrator position. No, it will be accepted by the people. People start to follow the follow what are the words, what are the programs or policies which has been implemented by these people. So building confidence and trust, and also it enhances teamwork. Okay, teamwork, because you are treating everyone with importance. This will improve the teamwork, and that way it will also enhance, it will improve proper quality service delivery. It will bring in proper quality service delivery, because you are making him understand that as a civil servant, your main duty is to serve the public, to serve the people, that is to deliver the services to the public. So once when he try to change his attitude, so what happens? Automatically corruption will get reduced, and when corruption is reduced, what will happen? The service delivery will be given in a quality way. Okay, so it will improve the quality service delivery, and it will reduce the corruption. And the fourth most important thing is that it also improves the work culture. Okay, and it brings creative decision making. It results in creative decision making. There is no space, I'm writing here. Creative decision making in a decision making for a civil servant. Okay, so these are important points which you have to mention. So anyway, like this, the diagrammatic format, if you are writing, examiner will feel very happy. Simply is correcting lot of papers which comes in paragraph pointer format, you can give in this way. So you can write inside this semicircle, you can write that benefits or merits of having positive attitude of a civil servant. So this way you can give your answers. That's it. So this is one question which I like to discuss. Come to the second question. Part A is over. Part B, Mission Karma Yogi, a national program for civil service capacity building, is turning out to be a game changer, shaping future ready civil service with the right attitude, skills, and knowledge. They are talking about a program. Okay, so this was introduced long back. The work started 2014, but 2014 the work started. That's why this year there might be an expectation, or you have right mission, you have to use Mission Karma Yogi when you are giving your answers. You have to use this mission. Okay, so 2014 itself the work started, but launched in 2020. It was launched. This program was launched. So now they have given that Mission Karma Yogi's main aim is to bring right attitude, skills, and knowledge. You are going to illustrate it. Illustrate means in the form of examples, or in the form of flow charts, in the form of diagram. You have to explain this concept. You have to explain. That's it. So now already they have given you a clue that Mission Karma Yogi is for this only. If you have got a chance to read this document of Mission Karma Yogi, or core points of Karma Yogi, you have to produce it in the form of illustration. Okay, you will often see this word in your paper, in your UPSC, actually the ethics paper, you'll see this word illustrate. So I already have taught my students, for illustration, what you have to do, you have to bring like a flow chart format, or like a diagram, or like a connectivity map. You have to create a idea of that question. Okay, see this. How will you start this question? You have to say, yes, the mission is trying to, modernize the thinking of the civil servant, and they try to change their approach, and try to change the skill set possessed by the civil servant. This way you have to begin the question. Okay, you have to say, yes, the mission is mainly for that only. And the scheme, that is Mission Karma Yogi, it tries to help the civil servant maintain a high standard of conduct and behavior. So the high standard of conduct and behavior should be there for civil servant, and for that Mission Karma Yogi is helping. Right? So now you are going into that illustration of that Mission Karma Yogi. I have splitted this illustration small part. You can just give, not draw a diagram like this, a lady standing and all. Don't think like that. You have to give like this. You can simply put a smiley face here. This is very simple to draw. You can say that this is a civil servant, and Mission Karma Yogi is mainly brought to promote all these things. So in one page, you can give one side, this diagram can come, then center diagram, then side, another diagram. Like this, then present your answers. So mainly, I told you that this Mission Karma Yogi itself is to change the attitude of the civil servant along with the skill sets they possess. Already they possess a skill. Now you are going to give training in attitude also. Attitude change is to be taken place. For that's why you can see this and all is mainly focused by the Mission Karma Yogi. Technologically enabled civil servant, transparent, technologically enabled, creative and constructive. Okay, so they are giving innovative, is giving important. Innovation is given importance because they have to bring innovative decision making when they are facing a problem. imaginative and innovative, proactive and polite. Okay, so they have to be polite also, kind to the people. So for that, you have to change the attitude of the civil servant. Professional and progressive, always looking forward, right? Energetic and enabling. You have to serve the public, not serving yourself. Okay, you go and sit in the respectable position, serving yourself, building 100 crore house. Where that 100 crores went? The scheme, which is the government has allotted money for a scheme, you are using it to build your house instead of building house for the poor people. So that way you have to give. Same way, this is another diagram which you can use. This mainly, even if you're not focusing this side, you can see this as a civil servant, they're trying to improve the functional competencies, also behavioral competency. So not only the skills but also behavior of a civil servant is very important. Both are given importance as per mission karma yogi, and these are given focus, like ease of living. Because of this, we are trying to bring ease of living, because once when a civil servant attitude is changed and he is made to understand that he is here mainly to deliver public services to the only. Okay, he is here to deliver service, quality services to the public. Then he gives effective service delivery for the citizens. This will increase the ease of living of the common man. Then ease of doing business. Okay, mainly for economic growth. So he is there to allot the projects for the private business peoples also. So he has to be in such a way that he has to ease the way of doing business, and citizen centric. Always his focus should be based on citizens' interest, not his own interest. Okay, so this way you are creating attitude change for a civil servant in order to make ease of all these things, right? Similarly, this is the major pillars of the mission karma yogi. So when you are writing an answer for this mission karma yogi, you have to focus. These are important points: rule based to role based. Okay, instead of simply sticking to the rules. That is why they asked a question. 2022, the question was like this. They cannot simply ask like mission karma yogi is saying this. They ask that rule based. We are changing from where the mission karma yogi is saying that we have to move from rule based to role based. And 2022 question was like this, that positive minded civil servants always try to interpret the rules and regulation for the benefit of people, but negative minded officers do it in the opposite way. So that is simply this point. From this point, they have reflected a question. So Mission Karma Yogi is saying that instead of simply sticking to rules and regulations, you have to always focus on your role only. As a role, as a civil servant, what is your role? What is your role? Your role is to promote welfare of the people. Focus on that. Simply do not by rules and regulation and say that no, I will only strictly follow rules and regulation. For me, that is important, and here come next only your welfare and all. And then if that is the case, the civil servant, an IAS officer would have definitely checked on in his district a child who has died because of hunger, staying hungry for 6 to 7 days without food, and then died. Nobody has noticed it, and this after even the death of the child. This has not come to the ears of a civil servant. So this is how they are living. So that's why they're saying rule based to role based has to be there, and on site learning to complement the off site learning. Simply do not sit in your office in your AC chair and make policies, make programs for your people. Get down from your chair. This I am not saying. Your seniors, the administrators who are already in the field is saying this. They are saying how we are successful in our district. We are not sitting in our office. We get less time in our office. We walk out of our office. We go to our field. We visit the people. We see what are the problems they are facing. We are trying to rectify that. Empathetic learning. Okay, so then see this. We are going to have a frac approach. What is a frac approach? That is, civil service positions has to be always calibrated towards roles, activities, and competencies. So, what type of skill you possess, you have to be allotted for that particular area only. So, this way we are trying to bring a frac approach. And apart from skill set, apart from improving your knowledge, you also should improve your behavior also. You should be always kind, and you should always treat people with tolerance, empathy, and compassion. Okay, so this has to be there with you, right? Yes, yes, Hashwini, thank you so much. Because she, people rarely gets ideas like this. They, accept it. The thing is that, again, in with respect to ethics paper, also the same thing is prevailing. Sometimes we are following the same pattern. We are trying to follow the same pattern which is given by the people who, crosses, who has secured, who has already cleared them, and they say, okay, this way only you can give the answers. No, there is no proper pattern for writing your answers or producing your answers. Always, like how Mission Karma Yogi is supporting innovativeness, innovation is respected in any paper, not only in ethics paper, especially in ethics paper. I already told that there is no proper fixed way of answering your ethics paper. Creativity matters much. Okay, so these are some other points which are related to this particular Mission Karma Yogi. So you can use this to write your answers and produce your answers accordingly. Okay, so or you can with this in the pillar format also you can give this, right? So far, any doubt in whatever questions we have discussed, are you having any doubt? Then you can ask me now. Okay, if there is any doubt, you can ask me, or else like we can conclude this session here, and we will again meet for another session in the next Saturday, I think. Okay, so for the case study, already we have discussed some 3 patterns of case study in the previous session. So next, another pattern of case study will be taken, and then we will be having sample questions. And what case study I have done in the last session also, which is always current related only, I have brought. Okay, you can go there and check. Those who have missed also can see that. Okay, check that. You watch that case study number 1 class. Then next Saturday we will meet for the second session of case study, and alternatively we will be having. And next, after that, in the first week of July, I hope we'll be having the theory part again in the for the ethics discussion. So there will be alternate sessions. Here almost another 1 or 2 questions is remaining for the second unit. I'll carry forward this to the next session. Okay, we'll again meet for the next session. There I will take that 2 questions. I'll complete it. Then I'll go to the next topic, next unit. Okay. So thank you, students. Be happy, prepare properly. Don't fear at all. Okay, face your exams in a happy mood, and you can score more. That's the secret behind this exam, UPSC or any exam you take, any complex exam you take. You should not fear at all. Okay, there should be no fear for you. You should simply rock the exam. How will you do it? Simple secret: stay happy and stay focused, and be confident in what you prepare. Okay, and what you're going to present. That is very important as a civil servant, right? So uh, have a very good week, days, and the weekend. We'll meet again on Saturday. Thank you all.